It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors.
Way back in mid-March when we launched the first episode of the 2011 season of our show, the white bass were at the peak of their springtime spawning run up creeks and rivers all across our southwest region. Well, now it's a couple of months later. That action is all finished, and the question for you today is, where do the white bass go when they're finished spawning, and how can you find them and catch them this coming weekend? We will attempt to answer that question for you in the next half hour. And to help us do that on an extremely windy day, I'd like to welcome you in to Lake Proctor, which is one of my favorite fishing lakes, located just a little bit west of Dublin, Texas. While we're out there showing you that, we'll be taking you around the region for your very latest fishing reports for the week from Oklahoma, Louisiana, Texas freshwater, and the saltwater action all along the Texas and Louisiana Gulf Coast. We'll also show you one of the hottest bass fishing lakes in Arkansas on this week's Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week. We'll have the Ask the Pro expert answers to your fishing questions, the Academy Right Stuff, and your big fish photos on the big catch of the week. So right now we're taking the Nitro Z8 out into some big waves out there. We'll try to find some white bass and show you these techniques. But before we do that, we take you back to the FSN studios with your Chevy Weekend Planner.
Hi everybody, let's take a look at the Salooner tables to help plan your weekend fishing trip. Peak morning hours will be well before sunrise, so your best bet is to fish in the afternoons, beginning around 2:30 on Saturday and 3:30 on Sunday. Expect the sun to rise at 6:35 a.m. and set at 8:13 p.m. And evenings will feature a crescent moon, 19% visible. Stay with us, all the latest fishing information from around the region is on the way, including what's biting in Louisiana next.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors. Buy quality award-winning Tracker boats. Fish the finest. Lawrence, maker of the HDS, high-definition system. And Academy, right stuff, low price, every day.
There's one. Right up on this flat. Be a white bass. Oh yeah. All right. Hey, welcome back everybody. Oh, don't you do this. Got 6 hooks staring me in the face. Got him. This is your Southwest Outdoors Report today on a really windy day out at Lake Proctor, talking about what the white bass are doing now that they're finished with their springtime spawn up creeks and rivers. So let me give you 3 words that will key you in on what the white bass are doing now for the next few weeks until it gets hot. Shallow, flats, scattered. That's your 3 words. They're going to move out of the creeks and rivers out into these shallow flats 5 to 10 feet deep. And the best bait I find this time of the year to catch white bass is a lipless, rattling crankbait like that one. And this one's a real bright color. It's a chartreuse with a blue back, kind of murky stained water here at Lake Proctor. So that's a good white bass. We'll let that one go back. And what you've got to do is just get out and cover a lot of water, make a lot of long casts, crank that crankbait back in, and you'll pick up one here, one there, one here, and one there. It's a good way to catch them right here headed into the early summertime months. Let's check in right now with Cajun Phil and Kevin with your Cajun Bites from Louisiana.
Hi friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox, Louisiana fishing report. I tell you what, the winds hadn't stopped, but you know, it hadn't stopped fishing in most parts of the state. Let's talk about Toledo Bend real quick. I got some friends just got back yesterday. They had a fantastic time. Loaded the boat with bass. Of course, they threw everything back. But they caught them on wacky worms up on 1215. Then they went down south fishing the 6 Mile area. There they were throwing nothing but Carolina rig off for all of the points, caught lots and lots of bass. But they did say one thing. When they got to the landing, they had folks that had ice chests full of big old bluegill. Said they caught them on live crickets. It looks like right now Toledo Bend is very low. It's a little dangerous to ride around in. Be careful where you go, but you can catch bass, you can catch big old bluegill. As far as saltwater action goes, I talked to my friends up in Slidell, Louisiana. They said right now Lake Proctor train is on. Just go along the bridge pilings. What they're doing is they're getting the tide flowing in the bridge pilings. They're throwing bass assassin lures. They're throwing it on a 1/4 ounce grub head, and they're just going down the pilings. Once they find them, they usually catch 10 or 12. Also a few redfish showing up, but it's mostly speckled trout, and they're pretty good size. They're in the 3-pound range.
There's one swimming at me, swimming under the boat. Wow. That one hit it right close to the boat. Another fat white bass at Lake Proctor. Hey, before we go to the next commercial break, let me give you a little information about this lake in case you want to come here. It's not a really large lake. It's got 2 main arms, fairly shallow, fairly turbid, a little murky, stays low much of the year. In fact, this lake has been low for the last 3 or 4 years, sometimes as much as 8 or 10 feet. It's got a lot of gravel bars exposed, a lot of shallow flats, a lot of points sticking out in the lake, some rock ledges, and not a lot of standing timber, not a lot of lay down logs, no grass beds. So pretty much it's open water fishery, but it's loaded with white bass like that one. All right, stay with us. When we come back, Brian Hughes is up next with your Lone Star Lakes, your Texas freshwater fishing reports, and Bill Olson is down on the Texas Gulf Coast.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Abu Garcia for life. By Navionics. Enjoy Navionics anytime, anywhere. By Whataburger, just like you like it. And by Motor Guide Trolling Motors.
Another one. That's going to be a good white bass right here. Right straight down. Here he comes up. Oh, good fish. All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is late spring, early summer white bass fishing on your Southwest Outdoors Report, coming to you from Lake Proctor today, out in kind of west central Texas, I guess is what you'd call it. And we're talking about what happens to the white bass after they finish their springtime spawn. I showed you earlier catching them on a lipless, rattling crankbait. And here's the deal. White bass are very different from a largemouth bass. A largemouth, after she finishes spawning, does not want to feed very much at all. They're very, very difficult to catch once they get finished with the spawn. A white bass is exactly the opposite. She'll come right back in these flats and she'll chase everything that moves. She'll feed up, and they are very vicious feeders, and you can catch them on a moving bait. You can also catch them on a spoon. You can catch them on a swim bait, a grub. Anything moving will attract a strike from a white bass in their post-spawn pattern. We're gonna let that one go back again. All right, see you, buddy. Okay, it's a lot of fun, and you can catch a whole bunch of these fish going into the summertime months. Once again, once the hot weather gets here, these fish are going to migrate out deeper, but right now you can catch them up in really shallow water. That fish was no deeper than about 4 feet and just attacked that crankbait. Let's check in right now with Brian Hughes, Texas Freshwater Fishing Report.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by realrecovery.org. Now, viewer Frazier was asking for some help with West Texas lakes near his home of Midland. So we're gonna go out to Oak Creek, where you see black bass, your best bet, spinnerbaits and jigs in about 6 feet of water. Crappie at Oak Creek are pretty good on minnows and jigs in about 8 to 10 feet of water. Now, Sweetwater out west shows black bass pretty good on Texas rigs, shallow running crankbaits, and rattle traps, and crappie are fair to good on live minnows in the shallows. Now, a little further to the east, OHIV also has great crappie fishing. That'll be up in the creeks up near the top of the river on the north end of the lake. Try your minnows, try your crappie jigs there. You'll do fine at OHIV. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by realrecovery.org. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. You'll find him on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island. Surrounded by pristine bays, estuaries, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico, Port A is truly the fishing capital of Texas. Come fish, golf, and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit the website on the screen. Well, persistent strong winds continue to keep anglers pinned close to grassy leeward shores, uprivers, and creeks, or in the back lakes. Now, just as it's been most of spring, the Sabine and Neches rivers have afforded protection for anglers that normally fish the open waters of Sabine Lake. The backside of the Bolivar Peninsula and Galveston Island are other areas affording protection along with the south shoreline of Matagorda Peninsula and Island. One positive thing that has occurred with the strong southeast and easterly winds is an increase in tides that push bait, trout, and redfish into the back lakes of the Middle Coast. From Matagorda southward to Port O'Connor, behind St. Joe and Mustang Islands, anglers have found good fishing for specks and redfish in the back shallow lakes. Most of the time, anglers are having to fish the color line and rattle up fish. Live finger mullet, shrimp, or soft plastics fished under an Alameda rattling float or a Mauler type float has called fish in to take the offering. Another trick coastal anglers are using is adding a scent attractant like Procure to their soft plastics. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a single tide schedule of one high and one low tide each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Oh, I got something big. Oh no, oh no. Shh, shh. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Look what I've done. Look what I've done. Caught him in the mouth. Carpus maximus. Oh, look at this. Sports fans, there is what it's all about at Lake Proctor. I have caught me a carp and I caught it in the mouth. See ya? All right, it's just made a mess all over my boat. I think I'm gonna be sorry I did that. All right, stay with us. We're coming right back at you with more fishing reports, more fun stuff, more white bass, maybe a hybrid striper or two from Lake Proctor, Texas. Don't go anywhere.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Academy. Right stuff, low price, every day. Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a Nitro. Costa Del Mar Sunglasses. See what's out there. And by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors.
Oh, there's one. Oh, that's not going to be a white bass. Hey, welcome back, everybody. You're on your Southwest Outdoors Report. This is the bonus fish of Lake Proctor. Come up here. Oh, that's just that's an average about a 2-pound hybrid striped bass. It's a cross between a white bass and a striped bass, and they've stocked them every year in Lake Proctor for about the last 15 years or so. I think they stocked around 60,000 of them, fingerlings, last year, and they will bite a lipless rattling crankbait, and later on they'll bite a spoon big time. They're a blast to catch, and they get a lot bigger than that, but that's just a good specimen. You can see the broken lines down his side, and he's got 2 patches of teeth, I believe, on his tongue. Anyway, they're pretty easy to tell, and they get a lot bigger than a white bass. All right, they'll mix in, they feed viciously right along with the whites. It's just blowing like crazy out here, 30, 35 mile an hour gust, but we managed to catch a few fish anyway. All right, we're taking you up to Oklahoma. Check in with your, there you go, with your very latest Oklahoma fishing and lake reports. Bye-bye to the hybrid, and hello to Gary Dollahan.
It looks like Oklahoma is going to be a state of extremes as we go into May. If it's not the water level that's rising or falling, the temperatures are. I'm here at Foss Lake State Park today in the western part of the state. It's chilly, it's windy, and the water levels here are low. They have been low in the western part because of no rain for some time. Over on the eastern part of the state, the water levels are extremely high. Grand, Hudson, Fort Gibson, 10 killer's been up as high as 30 feet, and Broken Bow has come up several feet in the last few days as well. So it kind of depends on where you're going. If you're going to the extreme eastern part of the state, check those areas before you go. Get online, call the wildlife department, somebody, find out what areas are open, what are closed, because many ramps are going to be closed for a while. Here in the western part of the state, I ran into Sean Leverett and Millard Pettit, who are loading their boat after a day of fishing here. It's a windy, chilly day. They said they caught a few small fish, no keepers, fishing for walleye and saugeye. I did ask John to share with us what he does this time of year to catch fish here on this lake, as far as American Horse and also Clinton Lake.
Just put your minnow on there, usually through the tail. That's what I like to do, through the eye, whatever. And trying to fish them off the rocks, because walleye like the rocks for some reason. Fish off the points, any points, structures, anything like that's pretty good fishing.
Sean said that the fish they caught today didn't measure, which is a good reminder. Make sure you know what the length limits are for walleye and saugeye in the bodies of water that you do fish in Oklahoma, because they do vary according to the region that you're fishing. One thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
This week on the Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week, I'm going to be highlighting one of the hottest bass fishing lakes in the entire state of Arkansas. It's DeGray Lake, located north of Arkadelphia. I've been there a couple of times. It's a fantastic bass fishing lake, beautiful scenery, great fishing destination. Let's locate it for you now on the Lawrence HDS 10, and as you can see, it's north of I-20 up State Highway 7. The lake is actually only about 90 miles northeast of Texarkana. Reports say the lake right now is clear in the lower half and more stained in the upper half, and that's where the best bass fishing is happening right now. We zoom in and switch to the Navionics Hot Maps Platinum chart with the freshest data featured now that allows you to update your chart for free for 1 year from the date you register it if you bought it since last October. Now, the main tributary, the Caddo River, flows in here. Point Cedar Creek enters here, and Beaton Creek enters here. We zoom in one more time to show you the Point Cedar area and the Beaton Creek area. The post-spawn bass are off shallow points inside these major coves and creeks in 5 to 10 feet of water. There are lots of them like the ones we've highlighted here in red. And the DeGray Lake bonus is that you can catch a nice sized quality spotted bass in some of these same areas. That's this week's Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week. Stay with us. When we come back, it'll be time for the Ask the Pro, the Big Catch of the Week, and the Academy Right Stuff.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Stren, the standard of dependability, by Jean LaRue Lures and Bobby Garland Baits, quality soft plastic baits made in Oklahoma with American pride. Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors, and Mercury Marine.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for our Ask the Pro feature. Our question this week is from Debbie in Oklahoma, who writes, "When I fish with a spinnerbait, what kind of line should I use?" For the answer, let's check with Bassmaster Elite Angler Terry Butcher.
When I fish with a spinnerbait on line selection, I usually throw braided line. I usually throw 50-pound Power Pro braided line. And that's mainly when the water has got a good stain to it. You know, if I'm fishing shallow cover, you know, around docks, wood, laydowns, any type of shallow cover and the water's got some good stain to it, I go with the braided line. It's just got so much more feel, and to me your hook ratio is a lot better. You know, that fish touches that spinnerbait, you know it. You don't even really have to set the hook hard, you just kind of lay into him. You usually got him hooked.
If you have a question for one of the pros, just visit our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send us your information. Now let's get you back to Barry for our Whataburger Big Catch of the Week.
This week's winner on the Big Catch of the Week photo contest is Roger Davis of Lubbock, Texas. He is shown with a 49-pound flathead catfish he caught out of White River Reservoir, the first time that lake has been on our show, which is just east of Lubbock, Texas. Now, if you'd like to send us your big fish photo and enter the contest to have your photo seen on the show, go to our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Top right-hand corner of the front page is everything you'll need to sign up to become a member of our fan club. It's free, and you'll have access to the members-only area where you can send us your Ask the Pro question, your Big Catch of the Week photo, read my blog, and much more. And next on the Academy Right Stuff feature, we'll show you the tackle you'll need to catch white bass like you saw today at your favorite lake. This is the all-new Abu Garcia White Veritas medium action bait cast rod. You don't want a heavy action rod for this application. Why? Because you'll be throwing a lipless rattling crankbait and you want some flex in the tip of that rod. The reel I like to use is the Abu Garcia Revo Premier high-speed reel. It's a new one on the market, and I've got it spooled up with Stren 10-pound test fluorocarbon line. Let me also mention for you that next week our show will be on in its regular time slot, 10:30 Thursday night. Always set your DVR, your TiVo to record the Saturday morning edition. There are never any conflicts with that time slot. Also, if you'd like to watch last week's episode, you can always do that at the front page of the website. Just click on the play link right there and you'll be able to watch every week's episode for the following full week. Also, you can go to YouTube and see our YouTube channel for all the past archived episodes of the show. And one more thing, see us at Facebook for the very latest video features, still photos, comments by our reporters, comments by me, much more information that we do not show you on the television show. We do show you on our Facebook page. Simply search for Southwest Outdoors Report with Barry Stokes on Facebook.com. Click the like link and you'll automatically be sent all the updates. Hey, have fun out there this coming weekend catching white bass at your favorite fishing hole. Use some of the techniques that we showed you today and I think you can have some success for the next few weeks. Till next week, I'm Barry Stokes saying be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.